welcome to Moon with Rissa. I hope you all are having a wonderful full moon day. It's also a eclipse tonight. So some things you might be noticing during this time are big changes, life shifts, new opportunities. So we're going to have a nice relaxing yin practice to help us surrender to all that's in store for us. So you will need a block or two if you have them. If you don't have blocks, you can always fold up a blanket or get a pillow. Sometimes having a blanket is nice too at the end for Shavasana. And then also, if you do have an empty wall available, we might do legs up the wall, or you can always just elevate your hips in waterfall at the end. I will show you that. But yeah, if you have an empty wall, place your mat near there, and you can pause the video, grab your stuff, and then yeah, we'll begin in a comfortable seat. Hands come to the top of the knees here. And then we're gonna inhale together, and on the exhale, we're going to just give this massive release of energy, anything that's not serving you. So inhale for 3, 1, 2, 3, hold at the top. Exhale and sigh it out. Let's do one more. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, and hold. Exhale, sigh it out. And kind of keep that going. You can imagine as you inhale, positive energy and light is filling you up. And then as you exhale, anything that's not serving you, any negativity, any low vibrational energy is just coming out. Great. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, look up. Exhale, your right hand's gonna come to the left knee. Left hand comes behind you for a twist. Keep it nice and easy here to start. Inhale, hands come back up, look up. This time your left hand comes to right knee, right hand comes behind you. Inhale, hands come back up. Exhale, left hand touches the mat. And we're going to do a side bend over to the left. If this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, you can come down to your elbows. The important thing to remember with yin is that you want to come to about 80% of the stretch because we're going to be holding them for longer. So just hitting up on that stretching edge, but not overexerting yourself. You can either look up or down at the mat, whatever feels better on your neck. Try not to collapse in that shoulder. Try to really push the mat away with your elbow or your hand. We'll be here for 10 more breaths. inhale, come back up. Hands come up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down, bending to the right. Again, find your 80% stretch here, whatever that is for you. And then breathe. Try to notice where your breath is going here. Are you breathing into your side? Or is it in your hips? And see as if you inhale, if you can feel your ribs expanding. Inhale, arms come back up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, up, look up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, hands come up to the sky. Exhale, we're gonna cactus the arms, little mini back bend here. Think cow pose. Look up and back. And then exhale, hands to knees. Great, we're gonna bring the feet together to touch here. And then if you're very tight in the hips, you can bring blankets or pillows to your knees to kind of elevate them, or even blocks. Get comfy here. And then if this is enough for you, you can stay lifted through the chest with a straight spine and find your practice here. Otherwise, we'll slowly begin to bend forward. You can wrap the hands around your toes, or you can keep them on your ankles. Try to remain flat in your spine. Again, with yin, you want to find 80% of the stretch, so not overexerting. And sometimes, since we're going to be here a minute, I like to bring a block to my feet and then place my forehead on the block. But it is optional. You can have your head just resting in the air. Try to let your thoughts come and go, not engaging in them, just noticing. Maybe noticing any sounds around you. You may notice that as you're here, your muscles might begin to relax. Your inhales create space, and your exhales help you melt farther into the pose. Great, inhale, come on up. And then we're gonna find our way to our hands and knees. Take a couple seconds here to find anything that feels good. Maybe that's cat-cows. Maybe it's just rocking the hips side to side, shaking out the hips. Maybe you roll your neck or roll your shoulders. Just find something that feels good today. Great, and then when you're ready, we're gonna come to our hands and our knees. Knees are right underneath the hip points here. Might walk them back a little bit. And then we're going to bring the hands to the top of the mat. And we're gonna start to sway. Eventually melting the heart down to either the mat or your rolled up blanket or your block. Coming into a supported puppy, or if you're very open, full puppy posture. Breathing deeply. You can have your chin or your forehead on the mat. And in these postures, you can keep your eyes open or closed. Just pick one for each posture. Finding stillness when you find the right pose for you. Great. Inhale, come back up. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Move your prop off to the side. And then we're going to bring the knees as wide as the yoga mat. And the feet are going to be in line with the knees. So one straight line. If you're more open, you can bring your hips maybe even wider off the mat. And then we're gonna come into a frog pose. Again, I usually like to lay my chest either on a block or a folded up blanket, just for a little bit of support, especially since it's a nice, comfy yin practice today. Don't push yourself too hard all of the time. Coming down and getting comfy here. Start to notice any emotions that are coming up for you. Sometimes in these deep heart and hip openers, you might have surges of emotions or thoughts coming up. Just breathe through it. Feel everything. Know that it's coming up for a reason. Breathing deeply, especially if this is intense for you. Great. And then pushing back up when you're ready. Gently moving here. So that was a very deep hip opener. Move your prop off to the side. Keep your block nearby if you have it. And we're going to come back to our hands and our knees. Do a couple cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round the spine. Navel draws in, chin to chest. And then lift your right knee up off the mat. Bringing that toe up towards the sky. Exhale to bring it through and to the outside of your hands. So your foot should be on the edge of the yoga mat, both hands on the inside of the foot. You can walk the back knee back a little bit. And we'll be here in our lizard for a minute. You can stay lifted on the hands, or you can even bring hands to a block or a pillow if your hips are tight. Or you can, if you're more open, you can bring your elbows to the block or even down to the ground depending on how you feel today. Finding that 80% stretch. We'll be here for 10 breaths. So don't go too deep here. Try to unclench the hands if you've gripped them. Unclenching the jaw. Sometimes when poses are more difficult, we have a tendency to grip and tighten. Try to find some softness. Take one more big deep breath in and out. Great. Come up back towards the hands. Bringing the foot back in line with the other knee. And you can take some time to shake the hips out, or maybe drawing circles with the right knee. And then when you're ready, recenter yourself, and then we'll bring the left toes up to the sky. Inhale, exhale, bring it through, and step that foot to the edge of the mat so that both of your hands are on the inside of the foot. Walk the right knee back if you would like. And you can stay lifted on the hands here, maybe placing your hands to a block or a pillow, or you can come down to the elbows. And this side might be different than the other side. Our bodies aren't completely symmetrical. So finding what feels good for you on each side of your body. surrendering into the posture. Big deep breaths. Try not to grip through the hands. Try to find ease in the discomfort. Take one more big deep breath in and out. And then if your elbows were to block, bring them back to the mat. Take your pop off to the side and then step your left foot back in line with the right knee. Shake out the hips here, maybe drawing circles with the left knee if you did it on the other side. And we're going to come to a child's pose. So you can keep the knees touching or you can bring them out to the edges of the mat. And just melting your heart down. Again, you can place a blanket or a pillow underneath you if that feels better. Just melting into this pose. Big deep breaths. Inhale, come back up. Take your time. And then we're going to come to a seat. So you're in a seat here. We're going to come to a straddle pose. So bringing the legs out wide. You can face the long edge of your mat if you don't want your heels to be on the floor. And then sometimes I like to elevate my hips on a pillow or a blanket in this pose. Just because sometimes if your hips are tight, you might have the tendency to lean back in this pose. So bring the heels out wide. You don't have to keep the toes flexed or pointed since it is a yin class. And then you can stay here, lifted through the spine. Or you can begin to walk the hands forward. Maybe swaying side to side. Maybe bringing your head to a block or whatever you have. Or just staying wherever you are. My hips are pretty tight today, so I can't, without rounding my spine, bring my forehead to the block. Our bodies are different every day, so be kind to yourself. Find some stillness, some surrender here. Relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Inhale, walking the hands back up. And find your way to your backs. To your back. Have your props close by. When you get there, we're going to bring our feet to the ground, hip width distance. Palms come to the mat. We're going to find a nice easy bridge. Tucking the tailbone, lifting the hips. Stay here, or if you have a pillow or a block, you can bring it underneath the sacrum for a really nice supported bridge pose. You can have it on whichever height setting feels the best. Breathing deeply into your back. If it feels good to you, you can cactus the arms to invite an openness in the heart. And then staying here or coming to a wall, we're going to bring the legs up so that they're above our hips. You can put your feet on a wall, or just as you have a prop, you can prop your hips up. Having your hips elevated helps sometimes, at least for me, to keep my legs straight and above my hips. We'll be here for a couple minutes, so if you want to shuffle around and find a wall to put your feet on, you're more than welcome to. Your hands can either be on your stomach or to the mat, or you can cactus them out, whichever feels best to you. Great, bring the feet back down to the mat, remove your prop. And then just a little counter pose here. Bring the feet out long. Hands are gonna come underneath the tailbone. Elbows are on the ground, and then tip the head back for fish pose. This is one of my favorite postures. It feels so nice on the lower back. And then we'll come to our Savasana, come down to the ground. Get nice and comfy here, so you can bring a pillow or a block to the back of your head. You can cozy up with a blanket. Get nice and comfortable. You're worth it. You're worth taking the time for a little bit of a luxurious savasana today. Hands can come either face up on the mat or you can place them on your stomach. It's kind of comforting sometimes to do so. If you don't want the bolster or pillow under your head, you can place it across your hips. Sometimes that's comforting as well. Relax through the toes and the fingers. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your eyebrows. Noticing how your belly rises and falls with each breath. We'll rest here for a few moments. And keeping the eyes shut, bring the hands together at your heart. We're going to rub our hands together, creating some friction, some heat. Rubbing them together until you feel like your hands are warm. And then place your hands over your heart. Notice what that felt like. And then whenever you're ready, wiggle through the toes, bat the eyelashes open. Maybe rocking the head side to side, slowly bringing yourself back to your body. And then we'll gently bring ourselves to a seat. Maybe staying here for a longer full moon meditation, or if you have to part with your mat, we'll bring our hands to the heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon. Bring the hands up to the third eye. The light in the dark in me sees and honors the light in the dark that's inside of each of you. Again, thank you for joining me. My name is Rissa. Namaste.